So, the 3 steps to freedom we are going to chat about now. So, when you're organizing your life or your business or whatever it is that you do, there is 3 simple things that you can have in place that can get you to your ultimate goal of having more freedom, more space, more time to do what you want to do. And so these things just need to be set up. They need to become habits for you in your everyday life. But this is all around organization. So the first thing is organization. Look at, your life and how it's running at the moment, or your business and how it's running at the moment. How does it function? Chart out and see, what your morning routine is like, what your nighttime routine is like, and we are going to go into building that in the last module as well. But right now, you're doing all the things. So writing down all the things that you do, from cleaning the house, doing the dishes, mopping the floor, running errands for the kids, doing the grocery shopping, cooking the meals, doing all the things. You really need to brain dump all of that down so then you can define what they are and then organize them. So I organize mine into 4 quadrants every single day. I organize things into me, so stuff for me, stuff for my family, stuff for my home, and stuff for my business. So if you don't have a business, it could be for your work. So they're my 4 quadrants. And basically what you need to do to start out with is brain dump everything down into those quadrants. Everything that you do, just absolutely everything that you can think of. And you might like to do this over a couple of days because you'll keep adding things into those. So the categories are me, family, home, and business or work. So then what you're going to do is, now you've defined them, so the first thing is organization. The second thing is having systems in place. So you are going to have a look at those and work out what systems you have in place for those to make them the easiest that they possibly can be for you. So for example, if it's cooking, okay, how can we make this simpler? One example that I'll give you is that when I get my groceries home, after I've washed all my fruit and veggies and everything like that, I actually cut them up and I put them into containers. So then for the rest of the week, that just means that if we're having veggies with meat or whatever, I can literally just grab the veggies and chuck them in. It's not all that process, that time of chopping them all up and doing all of that, because I've quickly just done it all at once. That's one little thing that you can look at to come up with a bit of a system. You can also look at things in your life that you do, like your nighttime routine. How do you get the kids down to bed? It's a big one. What's the best way for you to do that? I do things like I'll put the diffuser on at 5 o'clock to start wind down the house. I start shutting the blinds at this time of year because more light comes in. And when it's darker, it triggers that melatonin in your body and the cortisol to go down. So it triggers a sleep hormone, which is melatonin. So that's another, bit of a routine that I have. There's so many that you can make from all of that list, but just look at the systems that you have in place. And some of them you're not going to have any at all. So you can actually start to write out a system. You can go, how can I make this easier? And one thing that makes things so much easier for me is for my kids and for myself to have our clothes and shoes out ready to go for the next morning. Then I'm not shuffling through my wardrobe. They're not losing socks, all the things. It just makes for such a smoother day, and you don't get the day off on a wrong foot. So it's little things like that, little systems like that you can have in your life that can make such a huge difference. And then they just become habit after a little while. So you've written down all the things from the 4 quadrants, and now you've nutted out a little bit of a system that you could do to make your life easier for each one. So you're creating a little bit of a process, a little bit of a framework that refines them. The third thing is delegation. So now look at, that list. What is on there, that you hate doing. The things that you hate doing, the things you put off, the things that don't light you up. There's some things that, could be delegated out. So have a look at those. So can they be delegated? If it's cleaning, can you think about getting a cleaner in for 2 hours a week, which will cost you $50 to really help take that pressure off? And so then you can do 2 hours worth of things that light you up, or you can make more money in your business, or whatever it is. So anything that doesn't light you up, and anything that's really time consuming, that's not fully bringing you joy, but it's zapping a lot of your time, highlight that as well, and look at ways that you may be able to delegate that out, whether that's paying someone, or whether that is, pocket money for the kids, or whatever it is. That is going to make your life a whole lot easier if you've defined the things that don't bring you joy or that are zapping your time, and then you work out a way that you might possibly be able to delegate them out. And you won't be able to delegate out everything, but if you can delegate even a couple of things out, it's going to make such a huge difference to your whole entire world, trust me. And looking at like where your best skills are, like where you're good at, what lights you up, like those sorts of things. Make sure that they're always in there. Make sure it's in you every day, in your every week. So things that I hate doing, like I hate doing like the bookkeeping side of things and things like that. So I had a VA, and I'm looking at getting another VA, a virtual assistant. So it's things like that that are just going to save me a whole lot of time and effort. And when you do that, you actually create so much space in your mind to then create the life that you love, or think of new ideas and be inspired and things like that when it comes to your work, your business, your home, your relationships, all of those sorts of things. It is going to free things up so you can actually get into a more creative space of mind, because when your mind is busy and cluttered with all of the things, you can never just get to that creative space, that white space that you need in your life. So think about doing those things. Focus on all of that all at once and doing it all as a whole project. And you might like to take a few days to nut out all of the just all of the things that you do every day, so then that you can define them and then organize them into categories. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope you really enjoy this process, and I would love you guys to share what you come up with.